today. So let's get right into it. When Maurice finally broke his silence and admitted what many people had been whispering for months about Sonia Uche, the internet practically froze. This wasn't one of those vague, half-baked celebrity statements meant to dodge responsibility or calm fans for a few hours. This time, it felt raw, emotional, and surprisingly honest. And whether people love him or not, one thing became very clear from that moment: Maurice still cannot let Sonia Uche go. For a long time, their names have been linked in ways that went beyond casual friendship. From subtle chemistry in movie scenes to behind-the-scenes moments that fans swore were too real to be acting, the speculation never really stopped. Yet, both of them maintained a careful silence. Sonia stayed classy and reserved, while Maurice kept things playful and mysterious, often brushing off questions with jokes or smiles. But as we all know, silence doesn't kill curiosity, it only feeds it. What made this particular confession shake lucky TV viewers was not just what Maurice said, but how he said it. Gone was the confident, smooth-talking actor we're used to. In his place was a man who sounded like someone finally tired of pretending. He admitted that Sonia wasn't just another colleague or passing phase in his life. According to him, she represents something deeper, a connection that refused to fade, no matter how much time passed or how many distractions came along. People close to the situation revealed that Maurice had tried, several times, to move on. New projects, new faces, busy schedules, and even rumored relationships were all part of that effort. But somehow, Sonia always remained at the center of his emotional world. He didn't say it directly in dramatic terms, but his words carried weight. He spoke about unfinished conversations, unspoken feelings, and a bond that never truly got closure. And honestly, that hit fans right in the chest. What's interesting is how this admission suddenly reframed everything people thought they knew. Moments that once seemed harmless now feel loaded with meaning. That laughter on set, the way he looked at her during interviews, the subtle support he always showed for her work, it all makes sense now. Maurice basically confirmed what fans had suspected: his feelings were never fully resolved. Sonia Uche, on the other hand, has remained silent since the confession. And that silence, it's loud. Sonia has always been intentional with her public image. She doesn't jump into online drama, and she rarely addresses rumors unless absolutely necessary. Her quiet response has left fans divided. Some believe she's choosing peace and maturity. Others think she's processing everything privately. And of course, there are those who feel she may already have moved on and doesn't want to reopen old wounds. One thing that stood out in Maurice's admission was the respect he showed toward Sonia. He didn't blame her, didn't accuse her, and didn't paint himself as a victim. Instead, he owned his emotions. He admitted that letting go is harder when the person you're trying to forget represents comfort, growth, and genuine understanding. He described Sonia as someone who saw him beyond fame, beyond cameras, beyond public perception. And for anyone who has ever loved deeply, that part felt painfully relatable. Lucky TV followers couldn't help but draw comparisons to real-life situations. How many times have P? Of course, not everyone is sympathetic. Some critics argue that public confessions like this put unnecessary pressure on Sonia. They believe that if feelings weren't acted upon at the right time, they should remain private. Others feel Maurice should have spoken sooner, before fans build their own narratives and expectations. But supporters counter that healing doesn't follow a schedule, and sometimes the truth only comes out when a person is finally brave enough to face it. What makes this story even more compelling is the timing. Both actors are at significant points in their careers. Sonia continues to rise with strong performances and an image of grace and independence. Maurice, too, has been evolving, taking on deeper roles and showing more emotional range. His confession almost feels like part of that evolution, a man stepping into vulnerability instead of hiding behind charm. Industry insiders suggest that whatever existed between them may have been affected by timing, career pressure, and personal growth. Sometimes, love doesn't fail because it isn't real, it fails because life gets complicated. And that seems to be the unspoken theme of Maurice's admission. He didn't say they were together. He didn't say they broke up. What he confirmed was something far more complex, that his heart never really closed that chapter. Fans have since flooded social media with mixed reactions. Some are rooting for a reunion, believing that unfinished stories deserve second chances. Others are encouraging Sonia to continue focusing on herself, reminding everyone that emotional honesty doesn't automatically mean reconciliation. And then there are those who simply appreciate the maturity of the situation, two adults navigating feelings without unnecessary drama. As for what happens next, nobody knows for sure. Maurice has said his piece, and now the ball seems to be in Sonia's court. Whether she chooses to respond publicly, privately, or not at all remains to be seen. What's clear, however, is that this confession has changed the narrative. It's no longer just gossip or fan theories. Maurice Sam has confirmed that Sonia Uche holds a special place in his life, one he hasn't been able to replace or forget. In the world of celebrity relationships, where everything often feels staged or exaggerated, moments of genuine vulnerability stand out. This was one of those moments. Love, regret, hope, and acceptance were all wrapped into a few honest words. And that's why this gist has captured so much attention. So lucky TV family, whether your team move on, team second chance, or just here for the realness, one thing is certain, this story isn't just about two actors. It's about human emotions, timing, and the courage it takes to finally admit the truth. Stay tuned, because if Sonia decides to speak, you already know Lucky TV will be here to break it down for you, hot and fresh. 7:27 p.m.